look inside your bag. Open the bag, and inside was his 4-year-old kid.
Trying to smuggle him into the game in a bag.
Walks the checkouts.
I tell you, I do like my food served in dollars.
With that afternoon, it's so it's a junior version of The S-Word.
Featuring Will Gavin and Master Tesfatian.
And a squad of big-name contributors.
The S-Word
From talkSPORT.
Well, a very good morning to all our brethren on the East Coast at 8 a.m, the West Coast at 5 a.m, all across North America. This is the S-Word, sponsored by Calci. I'm Will Gavin, and we are the show throughout this World Cup, just bringing the talkSPORT vibes to the brilliant North American soccer fans. But around here, we say the F-word, never the S-word. We've got a huge show coming up for you today. Master Tesfatian is on a travel day today, and can I say thank you for that? Because after watching that diabolical England performance against Ghana last night, admittedly a wonderful performance from Carlos Queiroz' side, we're going to be breaking all of that down. Adrian Durham will be joining the show shortly. We'll also have Rory Jennings and Flex in the studio with me today, and we will be talking, I don't know if you've seen it on social media, Rory Jennings made a £5,000 charity bet with Piers Morgan over whether or not Cristiano Ronaldo would score in this tournament. Amazingly, we had a show 6 days ago where the title of the show was England Impress and Is Ronaldo Done? And now Ronaldo returns and England disappear. Very much the feature of our show today. We've got some great guests coming up for you on the show. Eric Krakauer will be here to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. We've got the New York City FC midfielder Kevin O'Toole on the show, plus Shebahn Aherne ahead of Brazil-Scotland as well. All coming up for you right here on the S-Word. Yeah, welcome to the S-Word, sponsored by Calci, with me, Will Gavin, Flex alongside me today. And, well, before we get to Adrian Durham, let's remind ourselves exactly how the action played out last night in Foxborough, live on talkSPORT.
Can England now garner the win that will take them into the knockout stages?
The longer the game went, the more spaces we found. This is just like the story is told so many times.
Could easily be here 1-0 and we have 6 points and everyone's extremely happy.
Will be a frustration if they don't have 6 points against their name at the end of the day.
Turn this frustration into a fascination.
If England are going to go on and get the big prize in a couple of weeks' time, they're going to have to solve issues like what they've got in front of them today.
And they're a good side, a lot of good players, quality on the counter-attack.
Ghana playing the ball forward. Oh, Pickford's come out! Now, has he taken his man out? Now the referee's given a free kick England's way.
Very, very fortunate to stay on the pitch.
6 yards out and he's blazed it over, and that was a chance to win it.
No, it looks as though the longer this game goes on, it won't happen.
A fourth successive tournament where they got off to a winning start, but then get hit by some sloppy seconds. England 0, Ghana 0.
That's how you heard the action last night live on talkSPORT. So let's begin the England inquest, the second game syndrome. Got some strong thoughts on this myself, which we'll share during the show. Flex and Rory are going to be here as well. But we had to start off with the England football czar, the man who is live sport incarnate for talkSPORT, who was there last night in Foxborough, Massachusetts, and joins us live now from Boston. The great Adrian Durham is here. Very good morning to you, Aid. How are you feeling the morning after the night before?
Willie G, I'm absolutely fine, mate. I've had time to recover, process what happened. Terrible stadium, terrible performance, but in the end, not exactly a terrible result. They're going to get through, but honestly, they just cannot play like that again. This is so England. As we said yesterday on air, it may have been in New England, but it was definitely old England.
Exactly that, right? It was everything that the first game brought me, all the joy it brought me, particularly that second half performance, the fact that adjustments were made, the fact that a manager made smart tactical decisions, made the right substitutions at the right moment, all the things that I was heaping praise on Thomas Tuchel for. And I felt like I was watching a Southgate performance last night, as much as, you and I think are both mostly Southgate defenders. But yeah, that was tough last night.
What we think is, I don't know, I can't speak for you overall, but I think I'm right in saying that you think like I do, that Gareth Southgate was that huge, necessary, really strong bridge between the absolute calamities of the mid-2000s and before and what is going on now, where we're actually more confident about England. And that really was a massive retrograde step yesterday. I think he got the team selection totally wrong. I think his substitutions were ineffective because they were like for like. When you needed Rashford, he left him until the 83rd minute. I thought it was a very strange thing. His frustrations at Jed Spence in training turned into his frustrations with Jed Spence in an actual World Cup game. So what did Thomas Tuchel really expect from Jed Spence? And, it kind of sums it up for me. We know what these players are capable of, all of them, that they're really good footballers. And we see it not necessarily week in, week out, but most weeks I'd say in the Premier League or in the leagues in Europe they play in. When I look at Jed Spence, there's a reason why he's gone from club to club to club. There's a reason why he's been left out of the Spurs team. He's a brilliant footballer. He seems like a really good guy. He looks to me like he couldn't care less on the pitch sometimes, even playing for England at a World Cup, and he's got to shake himself out of that.
It's funny, Adrian. So obviously, we'll talk a bit about your player ratings in a moment. But the only one I found myself disagreeing with when I looked at them last night after the game, and when I listened to you guys post game analysis, actually was Jed Spence. And I think I feel differently about this performance to quite a lot of other people. Maybe he looks like he doesn't care. Maybe when you're in the stadium, you get a very different impression. And what I found funny about the way that Tuchel was reacting on the sideline, I know on commentary we said it doesn't help that the guys on that side are right in front of him and are getting the brunt of it, right? But what I saw was Jed Spence doing exactly what they asked the fullbacks to do in the first game. Get high up the pitch, invert inside, let the winger get to the outside. And what I saw 4 or 5 times in the first half was Jed Spence made a great run, and what he ran into was Declan Rice standing there like a lemon, playing a more advanced role, playing a bit of a kind of pseudo number 10 and not knowing where to make a run, not knowing how to move when Jed Spence came into that space. They're playing such a low block. I'm waiting for Rice to then make the incisive move that we'd expect a Bellingham to do or somebody else. And he just kept occupying the same space as Spence, kept occupying the same space as Kane. And I felt bad for Jed Spence last night because I felt like it feels like you're doing what you're being told to do, and yet you're finding that no one else around you is doing the same thing.
Okay, I take that point on board, and I could level criticism at all the players. It wasn't me necessarily singling out Jed Spence, but Jed Spence has been given a great opportunity in the starting lineup. This is a guy who isn't getting in the lineup at Spurs. So I'm looking overall at his career thinking, well, okay, you think you're really good, and I'm prepared to accept that. Let's see what you've got. And I think he blew the opportunity. You bring up Declan Rice, and I think it's a fair point that you've made in terms of how that game panned out. With Declan Rice, again, people said to me yesterday, you mark is way too low for Declan Rice. And I said, well, what exactly did he do to help England win the game? And there was a shot over the bar. I didn't see any worldy passes that broke the line. So I may have missed some. Apologies if I did, but I can't remember them sticking out. And certainly none of them led to anything significant. I'm looking at a guy who had a right blast at a poor pass from Noni Madueke, and 5 minutes later he gave the ball away that allowed Ghana to break and potentially have a chance to score. Well, nobody's barking at Declan Rice at that point, so who does he think he is? I've been saying for ages about Declan Rice. He's playing within himself. This is the time, this middle game against Ghana, this was the time when Declan Rice really steps up to the plate, grabs hold of a game and wins it single-handedly like Steven Gerrard would have done. Declan Rice just didn't do that. He just trotted through the game. I'm beginning to think he is actually more injured than we realise. And if he is, he needs to be honest about it and say, look, I can't play. I can't start the game. Put me on the bench. I might be able to give you 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the end if you need me, but I can't start because he's just too ineffective.
I'm with you. And when I refer to your ratings, I thought that the only players for me last night who hit just the median, the player that what I would kind of expect as minimum for them. I thought Elliot Anderson did well in the holding role, doing the job he was supposed to be doing. Bellingham, for as much as he didn't have any of those moments of brilliance we can get from him, and sometimes was getting frustrated by the lack of space and the lack of movement, at least did his job to an extent. I personally thought Jed Spence did, but from my perspective, there was a lot of calls within WhatsApp groups, on social media and everywhere else, talking about, maybe taking Anderson out, putting Mainu in. Why are these changes made? Why is that change being made? I cannot for the life of me figure out why you're taking Jude Bellingham off the field and you're leaving Declan Rice on it based on what I've seen in that first 60, 70 minutes. It makes zero sense to me. You already know he's supposedly carrying an injury as well. And for me, based on performances alone over the last 2 games, if you're going to drop one of the 2 holding midfielders to try and play something more attacking for Panama, it's Declan Rice all day. It's not Elliot Anderson.
I totally agree with that. When Anderson went off, I was absolutely baffled. Bellingham, I didn't want him to go off, and I thought he was one of our better players, as the ratings reflect. I mean, it gave him 5. That's actually quite good from me. But I think with Jude Bellingham, there was a lot to do with the halftime altercation with the Ghana staff and the little foul. Well, not a little foul. It was a stupid foul before halftime, and he acknowledged it. You know, it wasn't a good challenge from him. Jude Bellingham acknowledged that. So in that respect, I think the Ghanaians were thinking they've got him wound up, and they may have tried to get him sent off, which would have been very detrimental for England in terms of holding on to a point. So I kind of understand. He wasn't, as I'm aware, I don't think he was on a yellow. So taking him off for that reason might have been a bit weird, but it could have been the reason. Jude Bellingham is capable of golden moments. So if he's fit and you can leave him on and he's not likely to get sent off, then please leave him on the field, because he is the one man out of nothing that can actually do something for England when all's not going well. Even Harry Kane, I'd say yesterday, it wasn't going well at all. He's been presented with a golden opportunity, blazed over the bar. You could call it uncharacteristic, but it kind of fitted into the England pattern of the game. I feel there's only one player who can break us out of that negative cycle during games that aren't going well, and that's Jude Bellingham. So don't take him off, mate.
Before we get to kind of moving forward, and also I want to ask about the atmosphere, the England fans, how Boston's treated it. There's been a lot of fun with, the Dublin are closing their doors yesterday and saying no Scotland, no party. There's nothing happening in Boston tonight. We've given our staff the night off and everything else. I just wonder, in stadium, the two controversial incidents from a Ghanaian perspective. Gabs, who works on the show, is Ghanaian, was wearing his shirt last night with pride and messaging within the group and everything else. But how did you see the Jordan Pickford incident, and particularly the Ezri Konsa incident in stadium?
Jordan Pickford was very fortunate. That is not good goalkeeping. That is not elite goalkeeping. Stuart Pearce sums it up. He says that sometimes Jordan Pickford gets a bit bored, wants to be the centre of attention, so he does something stupid. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. I thought he was absolutely shocking. I've actually disagreed with people who said he could cost us a chance of winning the World Cup, but I'm starting to think they might be right.
Let's not say Troy Deeney's right about anything on the show. Come on.
Yeah, sorry. A lot of love for Troy. I don't want him to be right, but I think with Jordan, I've always thought that the problem with Jordan Pickford was he's too small. He's 6 foot, which is small for an elite goalkeeper. And I think that cost us in the quarterfinal of the World Cup in Qatar when he couldn't get his arms to Tchouaméni's shot from downtown. I have a problem in that respect with Jordan Pickford, but now he's starting to do stupid things. Listen, you're at a World Cup, mate. Please be safe and sure that you're keeping the ball out the back of the net and you're not getting sent off. You're not giving away free kicks and penalties. And we can't trust him at the moment, bearing in mind what happened yesterday in Boston Stadium. As for Ezri Konsa, it's a penalty all day long. There's no debate about it. It's a penalty. How it hasn't been given, I don't know. I've every sympathy with Carlos Queiroz asking, is VAR still working? Is it in operation? Because that was a penalty. It's a ridiculous challenge from Ezri Konsa.
From your perspective then, Aid, the England fans who turn up, who spend all that money, who have the wonderful moment at the end of the game in Dallas, singing Wonderwall, having that connection with the players, and then turn up in Boston, have bars closed on them, get told everywhere that they're not liked because they're not Scottish, and then have to see that performance last night. When you're here seeing England fans afterwards, when you're getting their reaction, what's the general vibe amongst the fans?
Well, let me say that before I did this job, Will, as you may well know, I used to travel around with England. I was that England fan that went to games. So what I also know is that you cannot rely on England for happiness. This applies to football generally. You can't rely on your club for happiness. You as a Reading fan will know this. Me as a Peterborough fan, only too aware that it's a lifelong habit that you get into, that, yes, this is going to make me happy, and it just doesn't, okay? You can't rely on it. And this is England. They'll follow up the Croatia second half with that nonsense yesterday. On the Boston thing, I've actually found it quite amusing and a little bit sad, really, what's gone on there. I have no problem with the Scottish party at all. And their fans, I was in Munich when they arrived for the Euros 2 years ago, and they really were, it's a cliche, but they were sensationally good. They were brilliant. There's one little element of what the Scots do that never gets talked about, never gets called out, and I'm going to call it out here. A group of people went to Boston from Scotland and they told everybody that they hate the English. Any wonder they got welcomed into the hearts of the Bostonians and loved by the city. Anyone who's surprised by this doesn't know anything about history whatsoever. The sinister side of it is that the Scots are allowed to openly say they hate, a nation of people. It could be perceived as insightful. There's repercussions from it, and the repercussion was a bar was closed. I ain't too bothered about that. I don't think any England fans are going to lose too much sleep over it. But nobody calls it out. It's apparently okay to hate on a whole nation of people. I'm not really here for that. I love this World Cup. One of the reasons I love it is because there's so many different cultures and countries that are here. I saw last night Colombians dancing when they were goalless with Congo. Norwegians are rowing. Dutch fans turning stadiums orange. A player that's just been relegated from the National League is in the New Zealand squad. We've got USA fans singing, "We believe that we will win." The whole world admiring the Cape Verde keeper Vozinha to the same levels they admire Lionel Messi. This is the World Cup. It's not going to a place that already hates the English, saying, "Oh yeah, we hate the English, they're terrible people," when the English are about to come to town. Since when was that okay? Suddenly we're saying that that's absolutely fine. And it just isn't. When we all get along.
I mean, if it's no Scotland, no party, is the Dubliner just going to close permanently from tomorrow? That's the question, because that very much could be the situation we're in. I've already made a decision. As you well know, Adrian, this show is aimed at our US audience, our American soccer fans. They refer to themselves as the USMNT. Once Scotland have gone out of this tournament, England are getting rebranded on this show. We will be the UKMNT from that point forwards. Adrian,
well, listen, hang on. You're assuming that Scotland are going to go out before England.
Oh, yeah, I'm still assuming that. Look, listen, my position on last night, Adrian, and I shared this on the show yet, I'm very much keep calm, carry on, trust Thomas Tuchel. I genuinely and truly believe, and I know we've had the Fabio Capellos and the Sven-Göran Erikssons of this world who have had club success and come into England and not been able to replicate it. But what I saw in that first game, what I see from him in the media, in interviews, I genuinely trust that he's a guy who will take the lessons from last night and apply them forward and learn from them. I actually trust that he will do that. It's probably a stretch to say this, but there's maybe an argument that we learn more from that 0-0 last night, being able to not break down a low block and make bad decisions, than we do from a relatively comfortable 3-0 win where we've taken our foot off the gas after 50 minutes and we've not got anything from it. Would I rather have the 3-0 win? Absolutely. Would I rather be through to the next stage, be able to rest players, everything else? But maybe, just maybe, if you go back, and Adrian, yes, I spent my time on the train doing this morning. If you go back to the first tournament where they truly used group stages and there wasn't, people pulling out because of world wars and everything else, and you go back to 1954, only 3 teams ever have won a World Cup by winning every single game. And that includes the 1970 Brazil team, widely regarded as the greatest team of all time, the 1998 French team, the original golden generation, again, sensational. And they did have to have a draw against Italy and penalties in there as well as part of it. And then the 2002 Brazil team, who, by the way, only won every single game because they got a penalty given for a foul outside the box in the 87th minute against Turkey. So you don't win World Cups generally by winning every single game. You grow into them, you learn from them, and that's what I want to see England do. I want to see a reaction in the Panama game. I want to see the right changes made, and all of the conjecture today can just melt away and we can go into the knockout stages feeling positive about where we are. That's where I truly think we'll be next week.
How dare you be so sensible and intelligent? Why can't you just let emotions take over, for heaven's sake, Will?
I did last night. Last night I was all emotions. I'm glad that I'm not on the sports bar and I'm on this show instead, because I probably would have lost it, stormed out of the thing, thrown my things, get called a nerd. Listen, I truly feel positive about England still. I still think this is a tournament that is there for us to win. I still think we are in the class of this tournament. If you look at the squad, if you look at the coach we've got, I still believe that we can win in our very American fashion. Last night was just a little blip on the way. It's not a great story. It won't make a great documentary if you just ease your way through all 8 games, right? It's fine.
This is absolutely true. Can I just say, we've been staying in Providence, which is obviously, you will know, south of Foxborough, probably the same distance south of Foxborough than Foxborough is to Boston, roughly the same anyway. On Friday night, we went to Fenway Park to see Mumford & Sons, and I've been to Fenway Park before just for a tour. I've never seen baseball there, actually. I've been there twice, never seen baseball. How crazy is that? And it was just, I have to say to anybody who's not been to Fenway Park, if you can possibly afford to get there and tick it off, it's like going back in time. It's just the most beautiful experience. I'm not a massive Mumford & Sons fan, but they were absolutely sensational. They were at the game yesterday as well. And you'd think they might have just organised the gig around the game, but you will know this only too well. Fenway Park, wow, it's just one of the... People talk about it, but it's when you go there you realise, oh yeah, this is right up there in the top one of iconic sporting venues in the world. It's sensational.
I was lucky enough to do Fenway Park for a Yankees-Red Sox game ahead of the Patriots doing the banner raising of the last Super Bowl they won. They were playing Friday and Saturday night, and then the Patriots playing Sunday. And yeah, I mean, it was like when we realised that was it, I think we spent quite a lot of money on getting kind of lower bowl behind home plate tickets, but it was so worth it. The only problem is, all the bars shut down in Boston at like 11 p.m. They don't allow to sell alcohol after that.
Isn't that because you're English?
No, yeah, sorry. Actually, if I'd walked in and hey, Bonnie Lassen been wearing a kilt, I'm sure I would have been fine.
The flip side of that, the flip side of it is, as great as Fenway is, honestly, that stadium yesterday, the Boston Stadium, absolutely shocking, and it's no surprise that they have never held a Super Bowl there and never will. It's the worst. It's right down there with West Ham, and people might be insulted. Terrible, truly terrible stadium.
There you go. Adrian Durham, thank you so much for your time. So I really appreciate you joining the show. The brilliant Adrian Durham joining us from the greater Massachusetts area. Up next, Flex and Rory will join me in the studio as the England Inquest continues here on the S Word, sponsored by Calci.
The S Word with Will Gavin and Master Tesfacion from talkSPORT.
Only one radio heavyweight brings you unbeatable, canvas-thumping coverage of the biggest bouts in world boxing. talkSPORT. Go the distance with unparalleled ringside commentary of the biggest boxing showdowns. Two tough-talking boxing shows, Fight Night and Fight Night Extra. Plus, get to knockout content on our world-class boxing podcast and dedicated YouTube channels. Available now and exclusive for
talkSPORT does Maximus, Emperor of the best sports talk on the radio.
Revenge is a dish best served cold for Paris Saint-Germain.
DAB Digital Radio. On MLXXX1X and ML111AM. Are you not entertained with football? talkSPORT does Maximus. We salute you.
Can't get enough of Virgin Radio's 90s, noughties and baddies. 7s, it's a fantastic lineup on it. More human organ. Do what I do. Go to Virgin Radio. Download the free Virgin Radio app and never miss a minute of all your favorite Virgin Radio shows. You can listen live. You can listen back to every show for 97 days of Virgin Radio. Plus, seamlessly swipe between all the stations in the Virgin Radio network, including Virgin Radio Legends, Virgin Radio Chill, and Virgin Radio 80s. Do yourself a favour and download the free Virgin Radio app from the App Store or Google Play today or late. On track, Tuesday afternoon from on talkSPORT 2. Shebahn Aherne of all the action in the world of motorsports. Each show you don't need to win from pole position. Still revving welcome to depth racing analysis and reviews. If I'd gone 1.5 slower, I would have been E10 on the grid. So it's so tight. talkSPORT 2 brings up the biggest stories and the latest racing rumors. Championship belts and more like that. Tuesday afternoon from 2 on talkSPORT 2. Monday Club on talkSPORT 2. Broadcasting juggernaut of sports. It's a whole different session. Professional analysis into Massive dark horse.
A refreshingly frank opinion after all the action.
I don't rate him at all. So I think
he's useless.
The Monday Club, the sharpest minds in the business.
From 5.
On talkSPORT 2.
No cuss words here. Just 2 hours of full-on football dialogue.
Every day.
talkSPORT presents
The S Word.
Flex, what I'm saying is it's a very low bar yesterday on the England performance. And so if someone gets like a 4 out of 10, they've probably played well. You're here with the S Word, sponsored by Calci. I'm Will Gavin. Coming up in the show, Shebahn Aherne going to join us ahead of Brazil-Scotland. Tonight is the party still going down in Miami. We're going to be talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. Sorry, Rory. A little bit later on, Eric Krakauer will join us. I've got so much still to come on the show. Kevin O'Toole's going to join us as well, New York City FC midfielder. I'm delighted as the England inquest continues into the diabolical... Oh, I see. It's like that, is it? We are scratching straight into some Ghanaian beats in the other room. Our tech op / producer, Gabriel Anderson, who's going to join us in the studio a little later on.
Did you think they had won with this song? This is like a victory, so you didn't win. You got a point. Why you playing Afrobeats? You didn't win. Yeah?
He was sending us pictures of him in the shirt last night. He was slapping the chest.
I've never seen him wear a Ghana shirt, ever.
You've never seen... I mean, actually, it's not true. The last time I saw a team celebrate a 0-0 like that was the USA against us 4 years ago. Yeah. So, I mean, this is it. Second game syndrome. And, gents, I'll tell you what I said to Adrian Durham just now. If you want to go back all the way to 1954, when the group stages were first truly introduced to the competition, only 3 teams ever have won every single game at the World Cup. One of them was the 1970 Brazil team, greatest team of all time. 1998 France team, right up there, right? And actually, they still had to get through on penalties in at least one round. And then the 2002 Brazil team, who only won every game because they got given a penalty for a foul outside the area that Rivaldo converted in the 87th minute. So really, it's 2. It's 2 in 18. This does not mean we can't win the World Cup. It just means we've got a lot of lessons to learn from yesterday, right, Rory?
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I don't think that we need to panic, but I do think that there are problems now that are materialising that we can see, because it isn't about what it means for this. In terms of what this means for England in the group, I think that we'll still win the group. We'll still come top of the group, and that's really all that matters in a group qualifying campaign. The problem that we have is the message that we sent from that performance against Ghana. I think that anybody that's going to play England in the future will now have a blueprint. You can see that we're lacking invention. You can also see that when we need a spark, it just isn't there. Like, if the squad contained, for example, Phil Foden, you would have an option. If the squad more appropriately contained Cole Palmer, who scored for England at a Euros final, by the way, you would look at that game against Ghana, you would see that it was ebbing away from us. We didn't really have the invention, didn't have the idea, didn't have that spark, and you would find it on the bench. We've built a team that it's completely formulaic, and that works if the formula works. The problem we have is when the formula doesn't work.
I think that we're doing too much. I think we're trying to be too microscopic. I think we're being too reactionary. I think we're trying to solve every single problem before they've even arisen. And just because we've drawn this game, I don't think we're any further away or closer to in terms of our chances of winning at all. And the things that you're talking about, Rory, in terms of the substitutes, right? Because maybe if Palmer was there or Foden was there. Well, we look at it and say they've had dreadful seasons and they've been poor. In the very last game against Croatia, we're sitting around this table, many other England fans saying, wow, look at the substitutions. Look at the players that came off the bench that impacted the game. We brought on Rashford, scored. Brought on Saka, assist. Brought on Rodgers, involved. And then it's fine. We do have the right weapons and we do have the right thing. I just think what happened was...
We didn't, because those players, what a player like Foden would give you, or what a player like Palmer would give you...
He's been awful for England.
They agreed.
Nothing. He's done nothing for England.
Agreed. As much as you're saying about being one-dimensional, when they have been played in those wide positions, when they've been forced into those positions, where they're not players who run beyond Harry Kane as he drops deeper, when they don't fit. We're trying to build this team around Harry Kane, and last night we didn't do that. They were playing so low, you heard Anthony talking about at half-time, like 10, 15 metres lower than we expected. What you're not going to get from Phil Foden and Cole Palmer is they're suddenly not going to become these super direct players who are running at defence, who are getting beyond Harry Kane, who are like... They've both had bad seasons this year, and neither of them fit what we're trying to do.
They did. And look, Phil Foden, I think you can rationalise not being part of the team more easily. Cole Palmer, when it most matters, has done the business. Like Cole Palmer in New York City, winning silverware for England, beating Paris Saint-Germain, the best team, a team that ultimately went on to retain a European Cup. Cole Palmer, I think, should be there. And I think that the case was made so well by Jamie Carragher. He was talking about having a squad that, it needs to fit a particular system and it needs to be built around the manager's image. But even the best managers will have a player that doesn't necessarily conform to that image, that can pull it out the bag. For example, Jurgen Klopp, Shaqiri wasn't a typical Klopp player, but he really contributed to it.
We have it. I want to say this. I say this as someone who I think Cole Palmer's the first Chelsea player I've actually liked since Didier Drogba. Not appreciated, not accepted as great, not known they're fantastic, but actually liked. Gone and been like, I'd love it if he played for my team. And I, a year ago, was watching Cole Palmer in that final, and I was sat there and I was saying to my dad, and I was saying, I actually think that's the guy who eventually wins England a tournament. I truly believe that. I think he completely played himself out of contention this year, and actually, from Tuchel's perspective, and this is someone I am very much in keep calm and trust Thomas Tuchel. I truly believe in our lifetimes, the people sat around this table, he is the one England manager we've had where I think, do you know what? I actually trust that he has the nous. We had Capello, we had Sven-Göran Eriksson, they had domestic success, but Thomas Tuchel, I think, truly does understand football. And I actually am talking myself into this, and I don't know if it's madness. I think that result last night is better for England and what they do in this tournament than if we'd strolled to a 2-0, 3-0 win. It'd been very easy. We hadn't been tested. That's asked a lot of questions of us. And if Tuchel can answer those questions, and I trust him to do so, I think we have more chance of winning a tournament if we go out against Panama and if we go out in that first stage of the knockout rounds and we go, right, we realise we had problems, we've addressed it, we're making changes.
Do you not think that what it's done is it's opened the door for any opposition? So in the last 32, whoever we play in that is probably going to be a team that wants to sit back against us. Let's just assume, say it's Congo, as things stand, Congo. Yeah. If we end up playing the Democratic Republic of Congo, in that game, they now have a blueprint, don't they? Set out by Carlos Queiroz. How do you play against
But not
England?
everyone can play in that Carlos Queiroz way. He has literally set up teams like that for
Yeah. But Congo got a point against Portugal. So they're capable of doing something similar. I think that what the world now knows is that if you frustrate England, if you sit back against England, if you don't give England any space, and ultimately the reason we scored 4 goals against Croatia because they played football. What we've learned is that if you play against us, we might be better than you. If you try and play an expansive game and try and beat us, we might beat you. But if you don't, it looks like we're going to struggle to break you down.
What I'm hearing is we're at risk of going out in the 32 or 16, but if we get past that, then we're suddenly going to play open, expansive teams and be better.
Weirdly, if we say we get Brazil in the last 8 in Miami, if they will obviously have a go, right? Their fans will demand it.
You're more confident against Brazil than you are DR Congo?
I don't know if it's about more confident. but I think it will suit us more. Obviously, Brazil are better, I agree with that. But I think it will suit us more.
Yeah, this team,
we'll say it on air. Stop it.
Yeah. When we saw Tuchel, how he's constructed this team, it's very clear to see he's trying to capitalise on our biggest strengths. Power, counter-attacking football, can move the ball quickly through the thirds because we're a very powerful team. It's not possession-based football. It's not. That's why when me and Rory have been having different discussions about how good our midfield is and this, that and the other, there's going to be certain other midfields where, like you said, where we won't see the ball, which doesn't mean we can't be effective. I also just think that, again, more to what you were saying about historically in tournaments and not even historically, in this very tournament, we've seen what Cape Verde have done. We've seen how Spain have taken a while to get going. We saw what Portugal did in the first game against DR Congo.
If you flip these games and these performances, if we played Ghana first
all the time,
0-0, and then we had that performance against Croatia, we're sitting here today going,
because it's progress.
And when we get far, we don't go back to these crap draws that we get. Like when we got to the final of the Euros, when we got to the semi-final of the World Cup, when we got to the other finals, we don't go back and look at, but we were really poor against it. When we drew against Scotland, at Wembley, I remember watching that game and going, I was in the state, what is this?
Yeah, but the clues got to the final. The clues were there. Ultimately, we played a final at Wembley Stadium. We played 120 minutes of football at home.
Yeah.
We scored after 2 minutes. We didn't have another shot on target for the rest of that.
That's why we changed manager.
Here is why I trust Tuchel.
The clues of that were there in the Scotland.
Here is why I trust Tuchel where I didn't trust Southgate, is that I believe he can go out and make the change and do the positive thing.
Matters.
Southgate is the king of, and we saw it. He stayed for 2 tournaments too long. Maybe only 1 tournament too long. You could argue that.
Agreed.
He was an absolute necessary. Evil's the wrong word because it was very kumbaya and lovely, and everyone had a nice time.
He made England a happy place. He made players want. He made it fun to be English.
We had to get past being knocked out of group stages and beaten by Iceland and the nonsense performances in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
Personally, I could almost not stand watching England anymore. We're drawing 0-0 with Algeria, and
suddenly Saka's on a unicorn. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. The vibes were there, right? Now Tuchel is the man I believe can take that and play it. I do want to talk about one player in particular because I think he has been. He was talismanic for me of what England did in the first game. In the second half, Tuchel pushed Declan Rice into a more advanced position, and actually that really helped to unlock what we did. Yesterday, he almost tried to start with Rice in that advanced position, where almost you had Bellingham and Rice playing as two tens. It was also like a four behind Kane to try and break down their block. I thought Declan Rice was dreadful yesterday, and not from just the delivery wasn't good, which it wasn't 9 times out of 10, and not just from a usual Declan Rice leader, rah-rah, like gets everyone going, but he just occupied all the wrong spaces. He just never made the right runs, and there's a problem. Maybe there's a question mark over whether he's healthy or not. But if you're going to go out against Panama,
definitely is that. It definitely is.
If you're going to go out against Panama and you're going to say, right, we need to change things. Maybe we go for a more positive formation. Maybe we don't play with 2 6s, a 6 and an 8. Right now, I'm watching what we've done so far, and I'm starting Elliot Anderson. I'm not starting Declan Rice.
This Declan Rice thing's getting interesting, right? Because Declan Rice is top. I feel like we shouldn't.
Absolutely.
He's top.
We need to form and healthy, right? The first
he's the
names on my team sheet are Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Declan.
Yeah, and him.
100%.
But I do agree that within a tournament, it's not just about just playing the big names. He's literally saying, I've been nursing an injury. He's played a hell of a lot of football for Arsenal. He needs to be managed. And this is what I'll talk about, maybe us doing too much though. In the game before this, we're literally praising Thomas Tuchel for his handling of Declan Rice, where we're scratching our heads when he's come off good, kind of. And when he came off, the balance of the game went a little bit, but we got it back, and then everybody we scored.
Taking Jude off and leaving Rice on, 0 sense.
100% in this game, but in the game before, in the game before, he took him off, and then the substitutes that we made impacted the game. I know this is an if but and maybe situation. If Harry Kane scores that chance, if Nico O'Reilly doesn't get a bad off the shoulder and gets a frame of the bar, we're talking about a different game. Sometimes the opposition...
I think we're still sat here being negative. I think we're just happy.
We're talking about a very different game if the referee gives the penalty.
It's that as well. But I don't think that I don't think. Basically, it feels like what we're saying is this version of Declan Rice is a problem for England. I'm uncomfortable with that. The whole team, like the starting team, the subs he made, it wasn't good enough. Jed Spence, what's he doing? Reece James, what's he doing? Konsa, what's he doing?
This is a prime example of what I'm talking about, though, right? Jed Spence last night got absolutely lambasted, and yes, Thomas Tuchel was giving him a stick. In the first half, 4 or 5 times, Jed Spence made the exact run that Thomas Tuchel wants his fullbacks to make. Get up inside the winger, make that inverted run in towards the box. And do you know what happened every single time? Declan Rice has stood there like an absolute lemon, in his way, occupying the space of another player.
We can't be doing this.
And he was occupying the space of Harry Kane. I just don't think...
We can't talk about Declan Rice like this.
He's being misused, and I think he's not healthy.
The healthy bit,
Will's point is correct. Declan Rice had a bad game. Like, what you take from that is...
Loads of players had a bad game.
Yeah, fine. But Declan Rice is a player whose standards are high. Like, Declan Rice having a bad game is more significant.
Jude Bellingham's had bad games. Does it mean he shouldn't start next?
Well, I think you have a conversation when people... Jude Bellingham has been dropped by England. He only played 48 games in the group, didn't he?
He should... people like Jude Bellingham... The only way Declan Rice shouldn't play for England is if he's too hurt.
Or out of form. Or out of form.
I don't believe Declan Rice ever goes below a 7.
I think it could be genuinely beneficial for England if Declan Rice doesn't play on Saturday and we beat Panama and then he plays next Wednesday.
I agree with that.
He's healthy and he's ready to go.
I agree with that.
And hopefully he's got a bit of a rocket up his arse.
My England team, and whether it's form, whether it's injury, it's kind of irrelevant. His performances this World Cup so far haven't been good enough. They haven't been up to standard. You don't have a God-given right to play for England. And when we play a side like Panama, who... I mean, we should be beating very easily. Last time we played them, we scored 6.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with going. Elliot Anderson starts as a holding midfielder, and then Jude Bellingham and Morgan Rogers start for England.
Elliot Anderson was, by the way, good last night. Probably the only player who I would say was good. Actually dropped into the back. Centre back is a separate issue because Konsa should have been sent off last night. And what Gay does that Stones wasn't good defensively in the first game, but every time he comes out with the ball at his feet and moves into midfield and makes a pass, you feel confident that he can actually start a move, that he can actually pick the right pass out, that he can create.
This is going to work.
Last night, Gay brought the ball out 6 or 7 times, got to midfield, dallied, put a foot on the ball, looked around, and then wasn't sure.
Because he's not John Stones, he's not Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's flipping sats selling Panini stickers in Times Square. What's going on? So
in my mind, he's wearing one of those horrible Mickey Mouse outfits, charging people $20
per picture.
And this is the thing: we can start getting into the the isms and schisms of the people that aren't there. Me and Rory argued before we kicked the ball that I'm saying it's a travesty that Trent's not there. It's a travesty that Maguire's not there. Those are decisions that have been made
but
now.
That is true now, because what we lacked so desperately, my example for this is Cole Palmer. Now, if you don't think Cole Palmer should go...
He was in my team.
If you don't think Cole Palmer should go, Trent Alexander-Arnold is probably, alongside Cole Palmer, the most creative English players in the game. What we saw was a major lack of creativity, a major lack of spark. So I could rationalise why Trent Alexander-Arnold didn't go. You could maybe rationalise why Cole Palmer didn't go. What you can't do is rationalise why none of the creative players are there.
Can I ask this? Guys?
Yeah.
So we talking about...
I don't know how long we got Rory for.
Yeah,
I think it's not going to be on drive.
I'm looking forward to that.
We're talking about Thomas Tuchel and this, that and the other and a couple of individuals. Can it be that Ghana were just really good in what they decided to do? We struggled. We didn't just struggle. We didn't just struggle because Thomas Tuchel shouldn't have started Gordon and should have started Rashford. We didn't just struggle because Stone should have been there in front. We struggled yesterday, in my opinion, from looking at that because you boys didn't turn up. There was no intensity in what you were doing. You were playing within yourself. Madueke, from the first game against Croatia, was going at his man and going on the outside, getting crosses in. He stopped doing that. I'm looking at Harry Kane, not getting as involved as he did before. Jude Bellingham's trying to do a little bit of everything because he's now getting frustrated. You're right, again, Declan Rice. Anderson trying to do what he was doing. Reece James has just not got going in this tournament. I'm looking at left back, Jed Spence. Okay, a couple of runs where he did the right thing. Other times in the complete wrong zones, wrong areas. Just collectively, forget the individual, collectively, they just didn't turn up. And back to your point, Will, you look at the nations in this World Cup. I've learnt my lesson. I sat there and apologised to the Cape Verdeans because there's certain teams in this nation where I'm saying the minnows shouldn't be here. There's going to be 7s. There's going to be 8s. We've seen that a couple of times. I expected Spain to run out massive winners. I expected Portugal to run out massive winners in the first games. And actually, does this not just show us that this is the World Cup? You ain't going to win every single game. You ain't going to have top performances every single game. And there's going to be a couple of blips along the way to get into where you're meant to be, which is the latter stages. Is that not just what we saw?
No.
Yes.
No.
We saw worse than that. We saw something more cynical than that.
I just think
that this is the World Cup and you drop points. Every team's hard. Most teams.
It's a 48-team World Cup. It's a 48-team World Cup.
There's teams out there fighting for their life. Mate, Cape Verde have come here. They're on the cusp of maybe qualifying. They're supposed to lose every game 5-0.
They're qualifying because it's 3.
Haiti fighting.
Mate, barely anyone goes out.
You might see 2 teams.
Right, but what I'm saying is
this stage,
the big team with 3 draws.
But
here's what we're not seeing.
We're get through with 3 draws.
We're not seeing
Belgium. Those are 2 very different situations.
But what we're not seeing.
Cape Verde, that's a moment of national celebration.
But are we seeing the big teams? Are we seeing the big teams go and steamroll at all these other opposition that they're meant to on paper?
We've seen Germany do it. We've seen Portugal do it. So, yeah, we are seeing
and we've also seen it the other way around.
We've seen France do
So we've smashed Croatia, and we've had a difficult game against Ghana, who were no mugs. Right. Ghana are not Cape Verde. Ghana are not Curacao.
Flex, you're here for like another hour, so we can carry on with this.
It's ridiculous.
Rory's going to have to go up. Rory, well done on paying the debt immediately, on settling it up. I saw you live on Drive yesterday as that goal went in. Your poor little face dropping.
Nightmare.
Like, how are you feeling the following morning?
No, I mean, look, it was always a long shot. I don't know. The point of the bet was, is Cristiano Ronaldo holding Portugal back? That was where we started with it. Is Cristiano Ronaldo a problem? Are Portugal better without Cristiano Ronaldo in the team? Somebody else would have to answer, do 2 goals against Uzbekistan change the point? Some would say it does. I obviously lost the bet. I think what is more interesting, I've paid the bet. It's gone to a wonderful charity, a charity that I hadn't heard of before. So I've got no issue with paying it, and I paid it at 8 o'clock this morning. I think the point at stake, rather than the bet itself, is actually more interesting. Are Portugal a better team with or without Cristiano Ronaldo? Scoring 2 goals against Uzbekistan, it's all well and good to score goals in the World Cup, but does it change the point of of the bet.
Yeah, it does. They're not a better team. They're not a better team without Cristiano Ronaldo.
Are they not?
They 100% are.
I don't believe that. João
Cristiano
Felix,
Cristiano Ronaldo will be
Gonzalo Ramos
will be the reason that they don't go past the round of 16.
Portugal need to fix up and find a way to get Ronaldo in the game. He's a
We've got a guest coming up on this in a bit. Eric Krakauer's going to be here. We've got Shebahn Aherne to get to. Rory Jennings,
it's been an honour. Thank you for having me, mate. Get me back, please.
We were agreeing way too much with Rory there. Somebody's going to come in. We're going to have a fight with him. It's going to be loads of fun. This is the S Word, sponsored by Calci. I'm Will Gavin. Flex is here in the studio with me. Shebahn Aherne coming up next.
Bringing all the biggest football debates stateside. The S Word from talkSPORT.
I'm Matt Ford, and I want to tell you about your new favourite podcast.
How to win the World Cup from talkSPORT.
I'm asking the icons who've been there and done it. We're talking David Seaman, Emmanuel Petit, and many more. It's nostalgic, it's chaotic, and frankly, it's a miracle that we got these legends in a room with us.
When Jazza found out, I've never seen a man. Show for people who love football in North America. And I mean the proper kind, where you only use your feet. The S Word from talkSPORT.
Producer Gabs has just said the most devastating thing in my ear, which is I said we should have had some celebratory jollof in the studio because they beat England 0-0 last night, and he's celebrating like it was a 4-0 win.
It's a fact.
And he turns around and he says to me, "Oh, I could get Mama Gabs to have brought you some in." I'm like, what? We should have done that any day, let alone just when Ghana are playing. Like,
we need it.
That sounds sensational. Next time Flex is in, it has to be me and Flex. Forget Master.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
he's not involved in this.
He thinks Senegalese jollof is the best. He's eating beans and toast. Yeah, he won't eat beans on toast, so he's done to us. You are watching the S Word, sponsored by Calci. I'm Will Gavin. Flex in the studio alongside me. It has been a little bit of an England inquest so far. We will move on from that now. We're going to talk Cristiano Ronaldo. Eric Krakauer joins the show coming up shortly. And we are going to also have Gabs will come in the studio. We're going to praise Ghana because we haven't done enough of handing flowers to their wonderful performance. Plus, our buddy G-Day joins us live from Curaçao. Sensational stuff. And Kevin O'Toole, the New York City FC player. So much to still come on the show. But tonight, is a big one for our friends north of Hadrian Wall as Scotland take on Brazil, knowing a point all but puts them in the next round, out of the group stage for the first time in a major tournament in their history. And let's be honest, only losing by a single goal gives them a really good chance of getting there. And so she's been bringing the party the whole time. She's one of our very favourites, the wonderful Shebahn Aherne is here. Shebahn!
Yes.
Come on in! Yes, Miami, let's be having you.
I mean, honestly, how much sunscreen do you have on right now? Because if I was in that Miami sunshine, there isn't an SPF high enough for this, brother.
No, you would absolutely die, Will Gavin. You would. It's too much for you. I mean, what is it? It's 8:30 in the morning here, and the top lip sweat, the chin sweat. My Botox is running down my nose. It's not good for me, but, you know, we're bringing the vibes. That's why I've got the shades on today, because it's just too hot. But I believe there's a thunderstorm coming in about 4 hours' time, so it won't last long, this heat. But it's lovely, but I just don't think us Scots are built for it, like, at all.
Is there a thunderstorm coming in about 9 hours' time, though, Shebahn? That's the question. A big Scottish thunderstorm.
Yes, there is. 6 p.m. kickoff. It's showing thunder and lightning here, which means the game will be delayed if it sticks like this. Now, I don't know about you guys, but my iPhone weather app can be a little bit hit or miss. But from what I'm seeing in the weather app just now, it's to cloud over in about 4 hours' time. 6 p.m, the rain and the lightning comes. And yesterday, I've never been part of a thunderstorm like it. I have to say, the heavens opened. I absolutely chucked it down for about 3 hours when we were at the stadium. And the thunder and lightning went on and on and on. So that being game day yesterday, I think we would have found ourselves in a spot of bother. But it is scheduled for today, so maybe it'll be on our side.
I'm a little bit of the belief that could be good for the Scots, Shebahn. I'm not going to lie.
Get the temperature down a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think
break the game up, get a delay in, stop the flow of Brazil, like all of that stuff. I just think it just feels like, you know, if you're going to get a result out of this, maybe a fractious game is the way to do it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we can handle the rain, can't we? That's what I mean, literally, it's the hottest day of the year back home in Glasgow, and it's still raining. I've just spoken to my mum, so that's what we deal with. I think it maybe could help us, and Steve Clark said yesterday in the press conference, we have a strategy in place for if the thunder and lightning does come. We know what we're going to do, we know how we're going to handle it, we're prepared for that. Now, he's not going to elaborate on anything else, he won't give anything else away, but I did think, okay, maybe the thunder and lightning and that rain would be a good thing for us if it is to happen, but not for me. I'll be sitting pitch side getting absolutely drowned rat vibes. It'll be horrible.
You are the Scotland fan we care most about.
Exactly. She's an absolute legend. This. You know what? It's really interesting to say with Shebahn. Yeah,
I'm lucky.
It's because I know this is obviously a fact, but it's because she's so Scottish. Like I feel like Shebahn is like more Scottish than Scottish. Like I can't describe what I'm trying to say, but you get what I mean, right? You're just ultra Scottish.
Yeah. It's funny because since being out here in England with the Tartan Army, even I've noticed the way I've been speaking, being extra Scottish, but their chat's brilliant. Nobody on the planet has chat like Scots people. They just don't. And their parter's brilliant, their energy's brilliant, they're up for the crack, they'll see a microphone and they'll want to talk to you. You know, they've just got, even if there's like last night's shady rivalry to England and Scotland, it's still funny. They're just really, really good people. And I think that's the thing. I was saying this to producer Sam, with it being here in America and obviously, you know, getting into the country being so tight, you've actually not allowed people who might be causing trouble, who might have something against them. And football is for everything, but for everyone. But what we've seen here is no idiots, and I actually think in a way that's been a positive thing at a football tournament.
Listen, Adrian Durham came on the show this morning, Shebahn. He's in Boston right now, where obviously there has been a trail of traffic cones and kilts left in your wake.
Traffic cones and kilts.
Now, I'm sure you'll have seen the Dubliner and other bars shut their doors last night to England fans, saying no Scotland, no party. I don't know if they're shutting their doors permanently after tonight. We'll have to wait and find out. But Adrian turned around and said that, like, for all the love that Scotland are getting, for all the positive vibes they're getting, in what world is it all right for them to basically go and connect with the people of New England by saying how much they hate people from England? Because he's saying that's the only reason that you're getting over in Boston.
Do you know there's down at the harbour in Boston at 8 p.m. every night and 8 a.m. every morning they sound off a cannon for beating the British? So actually we were celebrating our last day in Boston, we heard this massive bang, and I was like, oh my God, run for cover. I thought something terrible was going on around us. And this man who works at the bar nearby, he came out and he went, no, that's the cannon. I said, what's the cannon signifying? He said, for beating the Brits. And we were like, all right, well, they join you in a couple of days, so good luck with that.
I just letting you know, Shebahn, as you well know, the men's national team over there are known as the USMNT. If England go further than Scotland, and after last night, it's now suddenly an if. When Scotland go out, I'm going to start referring to England on this show as the UKMNT. I just want you to know that.
I like that. Well, that's very creative for you. That's I think the fans over here would enjoy that as well. And what's interesting about Miami is I feel that they're really embracing football as well, and I think that's having the Brazilians in town as well. There's a huge Brazil community here in Miami. In fact, as soon as we landed, our taxi driver was telling us that, there's a lot of Brazilians in town, so it's great that it's here in Miami for the, Brazilian community that live here. But just looking at down South Beach, they're all playing football on the beach together. We're struggling, factor 50, trying to scrape the clay off our backs, and they're just running around barefoot. They're in the street barefoot, and we're still trying to catch up with them and keep up. So it's definitely the climate's a problem. Like if it were like this at 6 o'clock tonight, which I was worried it was going to be, honestly, I think it would be a real problem for us. Seeing that the weather's going to rain, I think it's actually a blessing. It really is.
Shebahn, I wanted to ask you about the game now. Of course, you lost narrowly to Morocco, and you did the business what you need to do against Haiti. How are you feeling about the prospect now of Brazil? A lot's made about them. They're maybe not quite where they need to be, etc., etc., but it's still Brazil. They've still got some superstars in that team.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from Scotland and Steve Clarke's side? Are you expecting to sit in there, make it as difficult as possible? Are you expecting to get in their faces and maybe spring a surprise on them? A little bit of both. What are you expecting from Scotland?
I'm hoping for a little bit of both, because I think when you look at Brazil's front line, I mean, it's absolutely sensational, verging on frightening, And actually, when I got to sit and watch the Moroccans so close the other night, pitch side, I couldn't believe the pace, the speeds, the technical ability of these players. On the TV, it's not the same as when you see it in real life. You're like, Jesus, like, what are you doing? And for us, I think in the first 20 minutes, we did look like we looked Sunday League against Morocco. Whereas now
what you're saying, Shebahn, is you've seen better football from the Brazilians down on South Beach. They are playing better football than Scotland did in that first 20 minutes.
Well, you said that. No, I just think we were so poor in the opening 20 minutes against Morocco. I mean, our bubble was burst. Like, literally, everything came out of the stadium. All the energy zapped in 70 seconds. We cannot have that tonight, and we need to expect for Brazil to want to do the same thing to us. They're going to target our back line. And actually, Jack Henry, he's a very good player, and he's had a good tournament so far in those first two games. Grant Hanley, we can have question marks, but he's all heart, and he's always there, and he'll always give it 100%. He might not get it right, but Scott McKenna's available tonight as well. So I'm thinking it will be a back five, but perhaps maybe a little bit more going forward if Ben Gannon-Doak starts and Lauren Shanklin starts. I think that would give us a bit more balance. We've got the back line that we have. We don't have options to choose from. But I think seeing Ben on the bench the other day in the first half, I just thought, what are we doing? Like, he's our player that can at least slightly rival the kind of capabilities of Morocco. So get him on the pitch, start him early, give them something to worry about. Ben gives you something to worry about, as does Shanklin when he's in on goal, and he doesn't need many chances, does Shanklin. So I'd like to see him get that opportunity from the start of the game. Shea Adams, he went missing last week. It's happened a number of times for him. Steve Clarke loves him. That's the thing. Steve Clarke is very, very loyal to these players.
Are you having him over Dykes?
I saw from Shanklin in the... No, I'm having Lauren Shanklin over Dykes, 100%. But when Dykes came on, he did offer that physical power. I think that's the thing. We need to be physical against this side as well. Dykes does bring that, but I think if we start with one up front, five at the back, I think it has to be Lauren Shanklin. Just give him that one chance, and he's dreaming about it. He's just relishing the opportunity of going up against Brazil's back line. He said it. All right then, now you've said it, let's get you out there on the pitch, let's give him the opportunity. I love hearing this from our Scotland team. I loved Jack Henry saying, no problem, going up against Neymar the other day in the press conference. I thought, good for you, like, you've got to rate your ability. We can't go in feeding them, and they are Brazil, and if we get tanked, it'll be a shame. If we can get a draw, it'll be magnificent. If we lose by a goal or two, it's not the end of the world, because it looks like we're still going through. So I think let's give the Scottish people that's something to get excited about, to get off their seats about, to maybe get those chances in front of goal, to score a goal, to get a point and score a goal, I think would be a magical night for us.
And from the perspective of the Scotland fans down there, listen, we know you guys are bringing the party. We played your video from social media at the Marlins game yesterday. Sensational stuff. Like, absolutely love seeing that they keep bringing that party atmosphere. What was the reaction last night to England's draw with Ghana, which I'm sure was playing in the bars down there, which in a way, you're seeing the English drop points in a game that you think they shouldn't, but also, does it hurt the third place finish position? Like, a little bit torn on that?
It did. Can't trust you lot. Do nothing for us. Even when we want you to do something for us, you can do nothing for us.
It's like that time we conceded a goal against the Netherlands in Euro 96. It's like, could have beaten them 4-0. Scotland would have got through. Didn't let them score one.
Nothing.
Why not?
I mean, you're just doing it on purpose to hurt us. I wouldn't be surprised. No, I'm joking. Again, this is all healthy, good chat. And when it goes on social media, it can bring out the nastiness kind of thing, and that's just not how we operate. You know, it's all a bit of fun. Look at Cundy last night. It is good fun. Even the Scots now are enjoying Jason Cundy, and they have chants about Jason Cundy over here that I can't sing on the radio, but I'll send you a clip next time it's been sung. Anytime they see the talkSPORT microphone, it's Jason Cundy's a fella in the blank. And you know, everybody just has such good fun. And last night at dinner, we had come out of the press conference, we'd been in the stadium for hours, and the delays from the weather had really caused us hunger issues between myself and Sam, more so me. I was getting hangry, so we sat down at this Greek restaurant. Before you know it, all the Tartan Army appear to get their Mediterranean dinner, as you do. Sorry guys, I'm absolutely melting. My earpiece keeps slipping out my ear. There's sweat coming out of my ears. Anyway, as it transpires, they were hoping that England would win last night, because it would have kind of given us that boost for finishing third and being one of the best third place finishing teams. To the point as the game goes on, when Harry Kane missed that sitter, they were all going, no!
Look at that.
And then we all had to check ourselves.
Shameless behaviour.
How are we not seeing that?
That's worse. That is
How
worse.
are we doing?
That's worse than Cundy wearing all the tops. That is
awful, terrible.
I know. I didn't want to film them because they were eating their dinner, but I got up straight after and I said, guys, what are we doing? What's happening here? And they said, I know, but all of them had English mums and stuff like that. They were just lovely boys. Just everyone's been so lovely. I'm going to put my feet in the pool, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Shebahn,
jump in there, Shebahn. Shebahn, just jump in.
You need to go and cool off and get out of that hot weather and just go and
I bet she won't jump in.
I've just done my hair, man.
Yeah, she's done her hair, and she's also wearing.
Do you want to dare me?
Just get a little speedo.
I
bet you won't go in there.
You watch.
You won't do it.
Go on, Shebahn.
No chance.
Come on.
She's doing it.
Yeah.
She's doing it. She's doing it.
Scotland.
Yeah.
We love you, Shebahn. I don't know if you can still hear us, but you're the best. the wonderful Shebahn Aherne. The Scots actually finally cooling off in the sun of Miami. You absolutely love to see it as she drifts off into the sunset. God, I love her.
She made sure that all the microphone and the equipment was safe.
Do you know what?
She's gone for it.
About 10 seconds into that interview, in my head, I went, oh, we might be able to get her to jump in the pool here. But then I saw the microphone, I saw the headset, I was like, there's no way she's doing it. There's no way she's doing it.
Don't ask.
Yes!
Yeah, there you go. Go on, Shebahn.
All right, coming up, G-Day's going to join us live from Curacao, friend of the show. We'll have Gabriel Anderson, our resident Ghana expert. Eric Krakauer is going to be here to talk about if Cristiano Ronaldo is back. Plus, we're going to do a nickname quiz, because that's the kind of thing we do around here on the S-Word, sponsored by Kalshi.
The daily deep dive into the world of football. The S-Word from talkSPORT. S Word,
Featuring Will Gavin and Master Fasian.
and a squad of big-name contributors
The S Word.
from talkSPORT.
Back with the S Word on talkSPORT. If you've missed the first hour, whether you're listening on Sirius XM FC, whether you're watching us wherever you could be watching us, that might be on YouTube, that might be on Tubi, wherever it might be. Shebahn Aherne has just jumped in a swimming pool live on the show in Miami to cool off. If you've missed that, I tell you, what are you doing with your lives? This is the S Word, sponsored by Kalshi. We've got a great second hour coming up. Eric Krakauer is going to be here to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo's brace last night. Can he still keep doing it at the top level, or should we not be getting excited about beating Uzbekistan? We're going to have Gabriel Anderson will join us in the studio, our Ghanaian producer, to celebrate their performance over England last night. We did a lot of whinging in the first 45 minutes about what England did. Let's celebrate their performance. Plus, we're going to do a nickname quiz, and we're going to be joined by New York City FC defender Kevin O'Toole, all coming up in the next hour. But to kick things off, creator and ex-professional footballer Jide Maduoku, who was here on the show previously with Master and with Max in studio to tell us about this amazing journey he's going on, a World Cup tour, travelling across every country participating in this 2026 World Cup, telling stories about football culture, fans and community around the world. And now he's in one of the nations that has, I think, captured the heart with their performance in their second game after the big defeat to Germany first time round. Jide joins us live from Curacao. Jide, how are you doing?
Let's go. I'm all good. How are you guys doing?
We appreciate you joining us, man. We appreciate it. So since when you were here in the studio, tell us where you've been since then to end up now in Curacao.
Since I was in the studio, I think I've been to Turkey, Canada, America, and then obviously now Curacao. I missed my flight to Mexico City.
How? What happened? How did you miss it?
Wild orders like that you're doing it in.
And I'm the airline. It was a travel agent's fault. It wasn't my fault.
Wasn't you just being late or struggling to keep up with the time zones, or you know what I mean? Wasn't you flagging?
But I'm not gonna lie. The World Cup's been positive in it, so I don't want to bait them out.
Okay. I like that. How have you found it, man? Even trying to take on this challenge. How have you found the beginning of this? No sort of second thoughts or regrets of like, oh my gosh, I'm actually going to be able to carry this through?
No, to be fair, the toughest times have been like, obviously, because I got a daughter, so being away from my daughter and not being there to have like daddy-daughter time at times. But I think overall it's been amazing. Like, it's been a trip of a lifetime. There's so much that I've learned just from the different continents, the different cultures, especially with like the football cultures and the way that people digest and engage with football across the world. So it's just been a blessing to be able to do it. It's been tough. There's been highs and lows, but again, I feel like it's like the football fan's dream that I'm living. Every football fan's dream. So I'm trying to just embrace it and tell the best story and capture the best footage and have the best experience.
What's the, particularly in Curacao where you are now, off the back of that fantastic result against Ecuador, what are the vibes like there? What's the football fandom like there, and getting to appear in and get their first ever World Cup point?
Honestly, like, it's electric throughout the city, because I'm in the capital right now, but just throughout the whole island, it's just been electric. The sense of national pride, like, obviously I do like my daily updates online, so like I was just literally going to talk about today just about how they have this thing called the Blue Wave. So all of the shirts on the island are sold out, the yellow jerseys. They only have blue jerseys left, which I've managed to grab. But just like the whole atmosphere on the island is just party vibes, and the big games tomorrow. And I'm going to be watching in the City Centre with the Curacao fans. So I'm super like excited for it, because it's going to be insane. It's going to be an insane experience for them and for me.
How amazing has that been? Because I'll be honest, I was really concerned at the beginning of the World Cup about some of the smaller nations. I was sort of thinking that we might see a repeat of what happened at the Club World Cup with some teams, where the disparity and the level is just so far apart. But what we're seeing is incredible about these teams.
What he's saying is he predicted that Spain were going to beat Cape Verde.
Yeah, listen, the Cape Verdeans. That's what he did. I've issued 2 public apologies. And big up to all the Cape Verdeans, because they've accepted me. I've admitted my flaws. I've worked on myself. I've had a lot of character building. But you're there on the ground, right, with a lot of maybe nations and supporters that are like, No, like we know our nation can compete at this level and give the big nations a hard time. Like, how beautiful has that been to see from not just from the passion side and the patriotism, but actually from a footballing side about these nations that maybe might be so far behind the big footballing nations in so many ways that are bridging that gap on the field or finding a way to.
I just have to say, all the Cape Verdeans, when I was in Cape Verde, they all were scared about the Spain game. So if they're getting on to you, they can't get on to you.
It's funny because none of these guys were predicting that it was going to be a 0-0, by the way. Even though I said they'll lose 8-0, no one predicted 0-0, so everyone was wrong.
We might hold it to 4. We might hold it to 4.
Nah, it was funny. It was funny because they were scared about the game, but I think on the ground, just football-wise, what you're actually seeing is that a lot of the fans are like, we've won by just qualifying, by just being there. I was speaking to a fan yesterday who went to two Curacao games, and she was just explaining about how in the first game they had 5,000 people. Obviously, that's a fraction of the stadium. But the second game that they drew, I think it was 2-2 with Uruguay, they had 2,000 people, and the rest, with Ecuador, they had 2,000 people, and the whole of the stadium was the opposition fans. So it's like they have this sense of like, even though we may not win, just by being here, we've already won. Just by being here, for the smaller teams, I think it's not about the competitiveness, it's about showcasing their culture, having eyeballs on their island, because the economic impact as well for like islands like Curacao, even though they have a boom in tourism, it's gonna be like even greater now because you got 500 million eyes on a country that a lot of people didn't hear of before, and the same for Cape Verde. So I think for them, it's actually not just about being on the pitch, it's about off the pitch, about the impact for the culture, the national pride. But then for us football fans who are like care about the results and are focused about like what football means to us and who's going to win, I think that's where there's a more focus on like the actual scoreline.
You're going to be there in Curacao for the game with Cote d'Ivoire tomorrow. That's going to be absolutely electric. Where next after that? I know when you were here, I think you'd done 15 countries so far, or was it? What? So you had 33 to go. Like, where do you head off to after this?
Next, it's a bit of a downer. I'm not gonna lie, but it should be good vibes. Panama. But they got knocked out.
I was going to say, because you're just north of Venezuela right now, right? You just jump on. I mean, you probably get a boat to Panama from where you are now, straight through the canal, and then you're there for the England game on Saturday. Like that I was hoping that's what you were going to say.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I'm going to be in Panama for the England game as an English fan. But I felt, even though all my pals are like, you need to come to New York, you need to. I'm like, listen, firstly, it isn't set up like that because I'm not funded that way. But I think it'll be a cool experience to just see what the vibes are on the island. It's a pity that they're out already. But I think if they have the same lens towards the World Cup as Curacao, as Cape Verde, the islands that I've already visited, then I believe that it'll still be positive vibes, will be amazing energy. And it's a Saturday in Panama, so it could be a lot worse.
Where are you going to wear an England shirt? That's the question amongst all the Panamanians.
100%.
Are you going to? Oh, I was going to say, you can't do that,
I want a Panama hat on. I don't want an England shirt on. Or a 50-50.
You've got to remember, we're not rivals. We're not rivals with them. If it's like you're in a country where it's actually like competitive, then it's like, it could be crazy. But they're probably going to embrace me from my experience. Or you might end up hearing a crazy news.
You might not make it out.
We're going to keep up with this journey. We love it so much. Where can people find out more about what you're doing? It's so brilliant.
So my name is Jide, so Saint Jids on SAINTJIDZ on Instagram, and I'm streaming every day on Twitch as well with the same handle.
Sensational.
Love that.
Wonderful
keep going.
Stuff. Thank you very much.
Have
the best time. Keep enjoying it. Enjoy tomorrow and enjoy Panama on Saturday. Hopefully England play a little bit better than last night. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Go give
the last thing is coming on.
Yeah.
See you later, guys. It's coming on.
Come on, Jada. Yes. Come on, England.
Positive vibes.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Now, Flex, as was mentioned there, Curacao. Yeah. They're known as the Blue Wave. Right?
Blue Wave.
I realise we're the wrong way round on the screen. It's very confusing because I'm looking at myself. But I'm going to look at you here, but I'm really looking over there. Like, Flex. Stop it, rubbish. Now I'm getting really confused. Curacao.
Yeah.
They are known as the Blue Wave. For me, hands down, one of the very best nicknames at this World Cup.
Yeah.
And it inspired me and producer Ollie to start looking up some of the other nicknames. And so we're going to give you just a little bit of a nickname quiz because there are some amazing ones.
God.
I'm going to throw a few of the nicknames at you. You're going to tell me which country it is. I'm going to throw you a few countries, see if you can figure out the nickname. And then I'll just tell you some of my favourites as well. So let's start off with who do you think who do you think the chivalrous ones are?
The chivalrous ones. So people maybe open up the doors for ladies and chairs. Really hospitable, really nice. I'm gonna say Jordan.
No, you looked that up.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
Serious.
Swear to God. Is that them? Is it them?
Yeah, it's Jordan.
Is it Jordan?
I mean, he's not going to get better than this at this point.
I swear to God, I didn't know.
That's amazing. Who are known as the White Wolves?
White Wolves.
I like it.
Plays in white.
All white as well. Played last night.
Who played in all white? Was it Iran?
It's not Iran.
Iraq?
No, it's Uzbekistan.
Oh, they were in all white.
It's a great name.
Sorry,
it's a great name.
Yes.
I'm going to give you some in another language, but I'll tell you what the translation is.
God.
Los Cafeteros, which is the coffee makers.
Oh, God.
Colombia. Yeah, absolutely. The Green Falcons.
That's not Mexico.
Other team that play in green.
Algeria?
No. But they do also play in green. But all green, head to toe.
Who's green? Who's all green?
Think about the flag, also all green with writing on it.
I haven't got it.
Saudi Arabia.
Come on. Saudi.
The Desert Warriors.
Egypt.
Algeria.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you what you think the Egypt one should be. This is, I mean, you've got to know your geography and or history for the next tour. But the Eagles of Carthage.
Carthage. Oh my God, Eagles.
Which is just such an unbelievable name.
I'm going blank about the teams that are actually even in it, even to guess. The Eagles of Carthage. I'm going to say... No, it's not Cape.
Yeah, already knocked out. Changed their manager already.
Oh, Tunisia.
Yeah, Tunisia. There you go.
I wouldn't have had them as Eagles.
I almost think Ollie Hunter needs to put his mic up for this one because I'm going to absolutely butcher it which kind of gives it away a little bit. It's Tubarões Azuis.
Tubarão Azuis.
There you go. Also known as the Blue Sharks.
The Blue Sharks.
Think about the language.
Yeah, so it's Portuguese.
So it's not Portugal, it's not Brazil. There's one other nation who speaks Portuguese at this tournament.
Curacao, they like speak Dutch, don't they?
We talked about them a little bit already
Haiti
in this section. No. It's the Cabo Verdeans. I love this one. Zlatni Liliana.
Zlatan?
Sweden. Liliana, the Golden Lilies.
Is it... It's going to be someone exotic. It's not going to be someone in Europe, obviously.
Or is it someone in Europe? Come on, Zlatniana Liliana.
Sweden.
Let me do it with a bit of a thing. No, Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Oh my goodness!
I've got one more for you that I like. I'll give you some, which is the Tigers of Asia, just because I love the name.
Japan.
Nah, it's Republic of Korea.
Oh right, okay.
It's
hard.
It's a bit 50-50. Okay, what do you think Egypt should be known as? Think about what's Egypt famous for?
Yeah, of course.
They're not known as the pyramids.
Yeah, the pyramids probably going to be too easy, isn't it? I would say the mummies,
the pharaohs,
or the pharaohs.
What Japan?
I would say like double-edged samurai swords.
Right, samurai is right. What colour do they play in?
Blue.
Blue
swords.
They are. Oh, come on! They're samurai blue. If you
samurai blue.
but the blue samurais. Los Canaleros. We just talked about this nation. I kind of, if I give you the translation for this, it's too obvious.
Oh, we spoke about Colombia.
Canaleros. Canal. Yeah. Also, the canal men. The most famous canal in all of the world. Come on. I ain't got a clue. Terrible, isn't it?
I ain't got a clue.
Panama, of course.
They got the most famous canal in the world. Didn't know that.
And then the Panama Canal that connects between the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean.
Never heard of it.
All of the it literally separates the.
I dropped geography in year 9.
This is poor.
It wasn't in the options.
And then the All Whites should be an easy one for you.
New Zealand.
Yeah. Right. So do you know why they're called the All Whites though? Why they play in white?
Oh. Wasn't Sam Matface saying this the other day?
Yeah, probably.
And then they started going somewhere else, and I thought, I'm going to turn it off.
It's a little nod to their
What
English
was it?
heritage. It's just a little nod to the fact that they're.
I don't know the reason why, but they did start a nod to their English heritage. Is that why?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the reason why?
I'm just going to give you a few more that I absolutely love. DRC are known as the Leopards. Ghana, the Black Stars, of course. We'll talk about them coming up shortly. Senegal are Leon de la Teranga, the Lions of Teranga. Ooh. Iraq are the Lions of Mesopotamia. I like all the cat ones basically. Yeah. And Argentina, La Abyss Celeste.
I've never known that.
The white and sky blue.
What's like
some beautiful ones?
Germany.
Germany. I mean, Germany's Die Mannschaft. It's the team. It's not it's just not a particularly fun one. Yeah, I ignored a lot of ones like that. I hated the Grenadiers. It's quite nice. There's so many good ones. I mean, the Three Lions. I love the Three Lions and everything else, but there are so many better ones.
We need to think of a new one.
So many better ones. Yeah. Right, that was our little nickname.
It was harder than I thought.
Yeah, you did well.
A geography test as well.
I thought you did well until you completely fell apart on the Panama Canal. But
no idea. We'll go Google that now.
Coming up, Gabriel Anderson is going to join us in the studio because we need to give Ghana their flowers.
We do.
Eric Krakauer will join us because do we need to give Cristiano Ronaldo his flowers? Maybe.
We do.
Just a little bit. And plus Kevin O'Toole will join us from NYC FC, all still to come up here on the S Word, sponsored by Calci.
Around here, we only use the F word.
talkSPORT presents
The S Word.
From kickoff to the full-time whistle.
Don't say the S word. Say the F word. Football.
The S word.
From talkSPORT.
Yeah, Don't let me dance. Definitely don't. That's a terrible idea. That's the whitest thing I've ever done in my life, and I was just slapping my milky white calves a minute ago because, yes, I am wearing shorts. It is, I mean, it's like 38 degrees outside today.
Knee shorts.
It's basically 100 Fahrenheit for our American viewers, which I know if you're in LA or in Arizona, 100 degrees, that's nothing. You have never experienced that kind of heat until you've experienced it in London.
Do it with no aircon.
Oh, man. Oh, man. We've got aircon in the studio, thankfully. Will, Gavin, Flex, the S word. We're here until 10 Eastern. So we've got some great guests to come up. Kevin O'Toole's going to join us. The New York City FC defender Eric Krakauer will be here momentarily because we're going to give Ronaldo some flowers. But we haven't given Ghana enough love today. We've picked apart all of the England foibles, but we haven't given Ghana the love they deserve. And so I'm delighted to welcome onto the show, in studio for the first time, you've heard us mention him a lot, I'm sure, the great Gabriel Anderson.
Here in person on the other side of the glass.
Gabs, how are you, brother?
Amazing. There's a lot of negativity from early on in the show, though. I was hearing Jed Spence this, Declan Rice that, Jude, but Black Stars.
Yeah.
How about them Black Stars?
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, you were sending us videos in the group of you last night. You were slapping the chest. You were wearing your shirt. Did you was it like a family gathering yesterday? Did you all get together and watch?
Oh, it was me. It was the boys. A few family members there as well. There was a few girlfriends here as well, all supporting the cause that Ghana. The cause that we just can't lose. Do you know why we couldn't? Because unfortunately, we were representing Africa. And as you know, Africa, strong continent, strong people. But there's a certain country, white and green is the main colours in their flag. We don't need to get into the nitty-gritty of who they are, where they are. They were talking spicy. They were talking crazy. They wanted us to get embarrassed. And if I'm so honest, I thought coming into the game, you're seeing the people, they're scrolling across the national anthem. You're seeing the players involved and you're like, oh, this could be a long game.
You literally said to me yesterday, if you don't beat this Ghana team by at least 3 or 4, then it's a national embarrassment.
Absolutely, because if you saw the game versus Panama, it was spooky. And I understand that we did win the game. We got there in the end. It was heroics from Urenchi to score that winner in the 95th minute, 96th minute. But we were poor in that game. We were terrible against the Panama side that are supposed to be, the quote-unquote whipping boys of the group. I'm coming into this England game and I'm thinking, this could be a long day. However, me, Carlos Queiroz, we formulated the game plan.
Me and Carlos.
Me and Carlos. He learned from the best. Sir Alex's right-hand man. For a long time, we learned from the best. And we knew, lock the door, Ghana Penitentiary, Gideon Mensah, Senesi on the other side. The wingers had no ideas what to do. In the midfield, Thomas Partey, solid as a rock. We missed him in that Panama game, and you could see the instant impact they had in the game as well. Jordan Ayew, for as much as I don't like him,
you lot didn't even want him there. Him and his brother. You trying to get rid of the Ayew brothers free?
I'm still trying to get rid of him. Don't get me wrong. However, for that game specifically,
it's Ayew this, Ayew that. It looked like Terry Butcher. He had the head wrap on.
But for that game specifically, he was what we needed. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but England didn't get anything against Ghana. We were the better side on the day.
Just who we are, mate. Marvin Sanaya was absolutely sensational. And honestly, you talked about Thomas Partey there. The way that they locked down, like any time that Bellingham or Kane tried to do the thing that England do so well, drop into that space between the lines, find the space there, let guys run beyond them, it just locked down. Just absolutely every time, never given a yard of space. And this is... We're English fans, we're pessimistic, we're going to pick apart a bad England performance, but as much as it was a bad England performance, he had to give it up. Ghana they came, it might have been Harambe, it might have been anti-football, it might have been, but Carlos Queiroz has spent 20 years doing that. He's gone to multiple World Cups doing that. Did you hear Wayne Rooney yesterday on the coverage on the TV afterwards talking about when you got 2 clean sheets against Barcelona in those 2 Champions League games? And he's like, that's because Carlos Queiroz knew that we weren't good enough to beat them, but we could set up
playing to your strengths
to hold them.
I was onto slot during the season when teams are stacking up against Liverpool and Van Dijk as well. When one team comes to play that way, it makes it this, makes it that. It's a manager's job. It's a manager's job to look at his team versus the team that he's about to play and accentuate his positives and his strengths and diminish his weaknesses. And that's what Carlos Queiroz did. And Ghana deserve a lot of praise because people forget that there's 2 teams playing. Mm-hmm. We always do it.
When England fans,
we literally forget that there's another 11 plus on the other side of that field, and they stagnated us, they nullified us, they made it difficult. And I had this down, even with the Croatia, before we played Croatia, I had this Ghana game down as a more difficult test for different reasons than the Croatia game, and that's exactly how it's played out, because that physicality, you know, playing in the heat as well, got athletes in there, strong guys in there.
Playing in the heat, it was like 19 centigrade yesterday.
Well, actually, yeah, to be fair.
I thought it was going to play to our hands.
But to be fair, you know, that we struggled against that physicality. We did.
And since we're here for honesty as well, I think you can be honest as well that Ghana were probably unlucky to get at least one penalty in the game.
No, it's one penalty.
No, it could have been two. It could have been another free kick as well, with another red card in there as well. But I didn't know if I was watching.
That was a red card. Sorry, that was a penalty.
I didn't know if I was watching Ezri Konsa or Booker T with the scissor kick that he tried to do, flying in there. It was a disgrace that it wasn't even looked at by VAR. Nothing, no penalty.
Do you know what?
Crazy.
It's so funny. If it was the other way round, oh my God, it would have been all we talked about for 2 hours today.
And it was barely spoken about, like, not really a lot of the pundits. Like,
absolutely not.
The VAR wasn't trying to. That is, you know what I mean, a little bit of bias creeping in there.
If I speak, I'll be in trouble.
Nah, it's true. That was a penalty. I don't know what Konsa's thinking of as well. He's nowhere near the ball. Takes the guy out as well. It's quite high. Like,
I'm dropping him for the next game. I'm playing Gay and Stones 100%. Together. I think he can't do it. The Jordan Pickford one, I will say,
yeah, that wasn't.
It's a 50-50 ball. They both go in for it. Like Prince Adu comes in with a high foot. He does jump into it. I mean, he's a crazy man. He's an idiot. He comes out to get the ball, and instead of clearing it or trying to win it, he decides, I know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to let the ball run into the player.
So
like sometimes I am so stressed out watching him play football. It's unbelievable. But I think it's a 50-50 ball, and I think it's a good no decision. But Ezri Konsa should have been sent off. It should have been a penalty. Ghana probably should have taken all 3 points, and we're suddenly sweating not even getting out of the group. Like, I hold my hands up to all of that.
Well, I'm here for honesty.
You did over-celebrate a 0-0 a little bit.
No. Do you know why? Do you know why it is as well? Because, you look, in this World Cup, 4 points, it's not guarantees. However, it gives you a very good chance to go through to the next round.
Yeah, that's
and you're coming into this World Cup, you're seeing Croatia, you're seeing England, and you're thinking, Ghana, this is going to be long, you know. As long as you don't embarrass me in front of all my pals, I'll take it. Yeah. And we're going through to the next round.
Yeah, but we sit here and we mock Master for 0-0 to the USA, and the fact that he's like, yeah, you've never beaten us in a major tournament. Like,
and do you know what's crazy? You've never beaten Ghana in a major tournament in anything either. It's crazy. Oh yes, you will, Gavin. Yes, I've never. It's true. Hey, the stats are the stats, you know. So we've got to be happy. We've got to take these, because as Ghanaians, the football over the years has been dross, has been crazy, and I'm really happy that Carlos has been the manager, not Otto Addo, who was the previous regime. He was playing some awful football, didn't qualify for AFCON, and in the friendlies leading up to it, it was awful viewing. So you can imagine the pessimism that was building up coming into this World Cup, and now we're here. Can't believe it.
How do you approach the game against Croatia?
I'd like to think, you know, we have a good chance of going through to the next round. So if I'm honest, you know, if we can do some of what we did against England, and like, look, they're a talented side. They've got Ballon d'Or winners over there. They've got players that are dotted all around Europe. Our goalkeeper plays the Ghanaian Premier League, so you have to imagine that. Yeah. I know you have to imagine a
couple of defenders yesterday who played like absolute heroes, who nearly got relegated from League 1.
Exactly. Like, so you know, as good as a result this is, let's not be too big for our boots. Now Croatia are a good team. Let's be conservative again. We know, you know, this is a tried and tested formula in terms of grinding out a result. If we could do that against Croatia, whoever's going to face in the next round, watch out.
The watch out at him. He actually believes it.
Clip that up and get that on social. Beautiful stuff. Right, we'll turn our attention now to Cristiano Ronaldo, because I know Flex is going to defend this man. He finally got his World Cup underway just, you know, about 10 days late or so.
Countdown's on in Houston. They're used to it round here, of course. João Cancelo on the charge. Featured into Ronaldo! Cristiano Ronaldo is off the mark at World Cup 2026. Second oldest scorer in World Cup history, and the first player to score in 6 World Cup finals. Here's the free kick. Mendes! What a hit that is! From the edge of the penalty area, from Nuno Mendes. Bruno Fernandes is on the charge. Ronaldo's ahead of him. Ronaldo inside the box to finish it. He does! It's Ronaldo in the double, and there's the celebration. Bruno Fernandes goes in low to the near post, flicked on and in. Oh, it looks like the keeper's pushed it in.
Yeah, it's an own goal.
Semedo, early ball in towards Cristiano behind him. Leao with a shot, Leao with a goal. And it's 5 for Portugal. High-class performance. The story of the night won't be the 5 goals, though. It will be the return to the goal scoring of Cristiano Ronaldo.
As You heard it on talkSPORT. And do you know what? Our commentator absolutely bang on. The story isn't about beating the White Wolves of Uzbekistan. The story is about Cristiano Ronaldo getting off the mark. And in his post-game interview, he tried to talk about the team, he tried to talk about everything else, but he also said, this is what I do, this is who I am. I turn up eventually. Maybe it's late sometimes, but I turn up eventually. I'm delighted to say that joining us now, a man who, we shared some feelings on Ronaldo previously, maybe feeling a bit more buoyed about that Portugal performance last night. Here on the S Word, sponsored by Kalshi, with me, Will, Gavin and Flex. The brilliant Eric Krakauer is here. Eric, how are you doing, sir?
They're off the mark. They're off the
Doing
mark.
well, doing well. I've recovered from the all-out assault that I got on my social media page from the trolls. The trolls. Unbelievable.
We posted a clip of basically, and what was funny is Eric came on the show and said that Cristiano Ronaldo is like, he's not playing well, but also isn't the reason this team is losing.
He did say that.
And you've got this amazing combination of people in the comments. Some people going, yes, Eric, he isn't the reason we're losing. Who I'm not sure if they watched the clip or not. They just saw the headline and were like so on board. And then others, like, it's so mad. Like, I feel like you can tear down any nation in this World Cup and maybe get away with it. But if you go after Cristiano Ronaldo
stands as
or Messi,
it's different.
It's
different. It's completely different. You talk about like the Swifties and the Beyonce ones. I can't remember what they're called. The bees,
the Hive, right?
That's it. Yeah, you can talk about that, but when it comes to Ronaldo stands, forget it.
They came out for me. Their knives were sharpened.
Well, I appreciate you coming back on considering that.
Yeah.
At least you didn't do what Rory Jennings, who was sat in this studio earlier, did and bet £5,000 on a charity bet that he wouldn't score at all in the tournament. So,
oh, yes, I saw that.
How are you feeling after last night? Is a weight lifted from a Portuguese perspective?
I think the simple answer is yes. I think that also most of what I said to you both a few days ago has sort of been vindicated in that we still, the first performance didn't come down to Ronaldo not performing, and that I still think, despite his brace yesterday against Uzbekistan, I still think that he's better off coming off the bench, because while I'm excited about the performance, while I'm happy for Cristiano Ronaldo, I think that he came under too much abuse and disrespect. It's still Uzbekistan.
Facts. You have to take into consideration, of course, the level of opposition, and even on the Mendes free kick as well. Keeper was shocking for that. So you have to legislate for that. For me, I really agreed with what you said when you came on, and I was on the show as well with you last week, Eric, when you said that Ronaldo is not the single reason why Portugal are underperforming, and you noted some of the reasons of what Portugal needed to fix in order to just be a better team, just in general with the players that they've got, especially with the world-class midfield that they've got. They still had situations to make, but I think that it just went too far to the right, or too far one side of, hate towards Ronaldo because Messi was doing what he's doing. All of a sudden, Ronaldo's a bum, and Ronaldo can't do this, and they don't play the same sport, and this, that, and the other. Look, I'm a Manchester United fan. I love Cristiano Ronaldo, right? But I think you can, if you take it logically, you can pick out the things that the team needs to improve on that involve him, but also understand how great he's been and what he can still offer today. So me personally, and I know you'll be well more versed on this than I am, watching Portugal, that's your country team week in, week out. Like, I still think that Ronaldo needs to play for Portugal. I just think that, like, more about what you were saying, they need to find a way. You need to find out, because I still don't think, I'm not so sure that if Ramos was playing, or João Felix has been off it for a while, last time I checked, I just don't think there's better guys in those moments. If you find a way to get chances for Ronaldo in the box and find a way, I just think Portugal's still going to be better off with one of the, in my opinion, the second best goal scorer we've ever seen.
Look, I think that's a very valid argument, and his two goals just exemplified how lethal he still is when you give him a good opportunity, when you put him in a good position. The main criticism that I had after the first game against DR Congo was that if Roberto Martinez was going to insist on playing Cristiano Ronaldo, then he would have to devise a system that would mitigate what he lacks and would essentially take advantage of all the benefits that he still brings you if he's in the 11. So he's not going to be able to press. He's not going to be able to stretch you so much. In fact, in his second goal, he is telling Bruno Fernandes to hold off on the pass until he gets into a good position and closer to the goal so that he can get on the end of that pass and then put it away. Back in the day, I was just watching video of him in 2012 in the European Championship where he was outstanding, demolished the Netherlands, if you guys will remember well. And he could start his run at the midfield line. That Cristiano Ronaldo is long gone. Exactly. So you need to be able to create a system that can still capitalize on his presence. And I think that's exactly what happened yesterday against Uzbekistan. Portugal pushed their lines of confrontation further up the field by putting João Felix into the 11. He comes into the middle, and he's much closer to Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo. If you'll remember, against DR Congo, there was too much space between all the midfielders as they tried to create overloads on the wings. And so what happened was, when they misplaced a pass, DR Congo were able to break in transition quickly and capitalize on those open spaces in the center of the park. That didn't happen against Uzbekistan because you had João Neves, you had Vitinha, you had Bruno Fernandes, and João Felix in the central corridor. And when they moved to one side, they moved together in order to make the field more compact and make it very difficult for Uzbekistan to play through lines. That didn't happen against DR Congo. I am concerned, though, that in asking Nuno Mendes, who scores that second goal, to be so vertical, which is essentially a key piece to the strategy, there are still some issues. There are still some soft spots that can be exploited by opponents in transition. Luckily, Ruben Dias, Renato Veiga, I thought they were very good in covering spaces. But again, they're playing against Uzbekistan. Against a team that can break in transition a lot faster, I think you're in trouble. And also with more quality. On the other side of that, and I know I'm being long-winded, if you're playing a France, if you're playing a Spain, you're going to defer possession to those two teams. And that's when I think a Gonçalo Ramos can make a difference, because he can press when he needs to, because he can chase a little bit more than Cristiano Ronaldo. And so that's why I still think that despite how lethal he is in front of goal, there are other things that he lacks that could be exploitable against a better opponent.
We've been plunged into darkness here, Eric, so we're not going to cut back to see us in the studio.
Because of the
We're just
scrutiny on Ronaldo. Turn the lights off. Like, do not.
You can just focus on my face.
Disrespect.
Just show us in the studio, because people have to know now. People have to see it. There we are.
Oh,
wow. Listen, Eric, do you think that it was savvy from Cristiano Ronaldo, and it just showed just that little bit of how much he cares about his image and his personality, that when he scores that goal and he runs over and he shouts, "I'm back," and he doesn't just shout, "I'm back," he does it in English at that?
Yeah. Look, I've had, let me preface what I'm going to say by saying this first. What Cristiano Ronaldo has done for the sport and the country is incredible, and somebody should build statues for this man. They have already. Okay, build more of them. But there is an arrogance that I have found repellent, even as a fan of Cristiano Ronaldo. Having said that, if that's what he needs in order to really motivate himself to do well, and that means that Portugal will go on to have a great tournament or potentially even win the World Cup, which I don't think will happen, then I'm all for it. Because Roberto Martinez is never going to bench this guy. So whatever he needs to do, if he needs to look at himself in the mirror and tell himself he's the best looking guy in the world, he's the best player in the world, good for him. It doesn't mean I need to like it, but if it translates into success on the field, I'm for it.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. And look, to be honest with you, there's certain people, certain players, like you said, they're just too good. He's a GOAT of the game, okay? I'm not going to get into the Messi thing and do all of that now, but Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the best to ever play this game. And there's certain egos, there's certain characters that come with that. There's certain characteristics that come with that of, I don't know, people call it arrogance and petulance and selfishness, or all these types of, a self-obsession and these type of negative connotations. But this is exactly what has made him what he is today.
Exactly.
And for me, I think people misunderstand that and forget that. And it does turn to disrespect. I think that Cristiano Ronaldo has absolutely been disrespected in the lead up to this. Anytime Messi does something, and I get it, they've had the rivalry for so long, and it's been incredible. We've been lucky to witness these two going at it. And I do think Messi shades it. Even as a Man United fan, Messi is the best to ever do this. But whenever Ronaldo, people love to see Ronaldo be in a period of,
a little
tumult.
Yeah, exactly that. They love. So when Rory made that bet, I would love nothing more than to see that smug just not score a goal.
I think
you know
English,
what I mean?
But English fans remember the wink. English fans remember the knocking him out of the Euros and knocking him out of the World Cup on penalties.
But Wayne Rooney forgave him for that.
Exactly, because
Wayne
he's
Rooney
that
might have forgiven
great.
him. I haven't forgiven him.
Can I just add something?
Come on, man.
I was the one who was heartbroken on the lawn of my university.
I'm sure.
End of year thing. Headed to Glastonbury straight afterwards. What a party that would have been.
Oh, that's not bad.
Game of football, and instead I was crying tears into my beer. I don't forgive him, even if Wayne Rooney has.
Can I just say one thing to your point? I think there has been a tremendous amount of disrespect, and I've heard a lot of pundits, including here in the United States. By the way, people were very annoyed at my American accent as well, even though I'm Portuguese born and bred. I should say that. Now, I've been a little bit, my feathers have been ruffled by the way that Cristiano Ronaldo has been disrespected, and by this narrative about Lionel Messi, who I agree with you is the best, at least in my lifetime. I didn't see Pelé. I caught the late end of Maradona. So let's say he is the best. But I've been very annoyed by the disrespect aimed at Cristiano Ronaldo, where people are essentially forgetting what it was that he did, not only at Manchester United, where he won his first Ballon d'Or, but also the rivalry between the two during their time in La Liga. They were neck and neck. Yep. If I'm going to put Lionel Messi above Cristiano Ronaldo, which I do in this endless discussion that bores me, I will say this. The longevity of the two players has been amazing, but the dominance that has been displayed by Messi, even in his longevity, where Cristiano Ronaldo has regressed a little bit, is for me what has taken him above Cristiano Ronaldo. Having said that, there's a 3-year difference. Messi is 3 years younger, and then of course there is the World Cup. But people seem to forget. They have amnesia about what he did for Manchester United and for Real Madrid.
You're starting to sound like one of those Ronaldo stands just a little bit, Eric. Eric,
you know what? I'm being rational about this. Yeah.
This show doesn't promote rational.
And the comments won't as well, but you're speaking facts, Eric.
Eric, wonderful stuff from you. Thank you so much. We've got to get to Kevin O'Toole, so we really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. The brilliant Eric Krakauer, the brilliant Flex as well, joining us in studio. He's going to move on to go and do his 15th shift for talkSPORT of the day, whatever he's doing. Go and get some food. Go and do a show. We'll be back with Kevin O'Toole up next.
From kickoff to the full-time whistle, talkSPORT presents the S Word. talkSPORT presents the S Word. Get your full-on football fix from across the football galaxy. The S Word from talkSPORT.
You're back with the S Word, sponsored by talkSPORT. We went super long and the lights went out and everything went wrong, so we're going to get straight to our next guest because I'm delighted to have joining the show right now New York City FC's Kevin O'Toole. Kevin, thank you so much for coming on and joining the show. We really appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me on.
So much. How much are you enjoying seeing the World Cup coming to your country, lighting up New York and beyond, and just the festival of football that's turned up?
Oh, it's been amazing. I mean, for me, the World Cup has always been an international event. And, you know, I grew up in Montclair, New Jersey, and to have MetLife Stadium 15 minutes from home and now have, you know, a host of group stage matches there in a World Cup final, it's quite surreal. And I've just been, you know, enjoying all the run of matches and excited for the first 6-game match today as well.
I won't lie, and maybe you're not a fan, but when I found out the final was going to be in New Jersey, Americans, we love a halftime show in American sports, etc. How Springsteen's not involved, I have absolutely no idea. As a big fan, it's New Jersey. Surely we need New Jersey's finest son there.
Oh yeah, that's a big miss. I hope FIFA can rectify that one and get Bruce in the building for that.
Beautiful. Listen, how are you personally? I know you were playing all the way through April, but you've picked up this groin. How is your health right now?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I had a procedure done at the end of May, and so I'm trending well right now. I've been back in the facility doing my recovery, and I'm hopeful to be back on the pitch for all the matches in July once we get back from this World Cup break.
How do you feel about that kind of... The MLS is going to be moving after this season to kind of fitting around what we see as the kind of standard football calendar, around the European calendar, essentially. How do you feel about that move happening now and the fact that for now MLS is still bracketing the World Cup, that we are getting this pause in the middle and the opportunities maybe that presents for the rest of the season of trying to keep this really positive approach to soccer going?
Yeah, I think it's almost a test case for the upcoming season and transitioning to the European calendar, because I think we'll join the season next year for what they're calling a sprint season. So it'll be a truncated season for the first 6 months, and then it will align with the European calendar. And you know, I think this has been a pretty good test case. I think from a player's perspective, it's nice to have this little break in the middle of the season where you can kind of reset, and it's not just one long sprint from January to the end of November, early December. So I think from a player perspective, it's quite nice, and then also it's nice from the perspective of aligning with the transfer windows across the world. I think the inflow and outflow of players at the same time across the world just makes the transition for players into their respective clubs a bit smoother, and I think the league will benefit from that a lot as well.
It's interesting. We've spoken with a bunch of MLS players playing in this tournament, prior to the tournament, etc. And there is a feeling amongst certainly the English who are coming over and playing over there that there is more and more of a desire to come and play in MLS from other leagues. I know that, you know, the US Soccer Federation, that their hope is that they want to make it a top 5 league in the world. That's what they've talked about previously. Have you seen that legitimisation? Have you seen MLS grow personally playing in it over the last 6-7 years?
Yeah, I think it's true. I think that narrative is definitely at play. I think the growth of the league, just from a quality perspective, over the last 5 years, you know, this is my 5th season now, and I think it's taken real leaps and bounds, I would say, even just within a 5-year period. Obviously, there's big stars that have come to the league that have drawn a bit more eyes. The money continues to get better within the league. And I guess to share a personal anecdote, like I was with the Irish national team back in November, and I know a lot of those guys were quite interested in the MLS and potentially making a move in their own careers at some point to come join the clubs over here. So I think it's definitely happening. I think that transition is definitely real, and players are more keen to come on over and join.
Obviously, the Irish heritage up there in the Northeast is huge, whether it's in New York, someone like yourself, and obviously we've seen the Scots turn up in Boston and connect with the Irish in that area, and a huge love in there. So how big was that for you to get that opportunity to join the squad, and is it something you're hopeful that there will be more opportunities to come?
Yeah, absolutely. It was amazing for me. My grandfather was from Dublin, and he emigrated here when he was a young adult. So to be able to represent and honor his memory with a call up to Ireland in such an important camp as well, it's definitely something that meant a lot to myself and my family, and it's something that definitely has motivated me to want to earn another call up once I'm back fit again. You know, I think there was a possibility to be in one or two of these windows over the last few months before the World Cup. but it wasn't meant to be with my injury. So I'm hopeful, in the latter half of the season, I can get going again and earn another call up to the side.
And what about for New York City FC? Because they're a brand that are familiar over here, being part of the City group, being, when Patrick Vieira came in and there was a lot of splashy moves that were going on, like it drew a lot of attention from here. Do you feel like right now we're seeing a move towards them being someone who can contend, who can push forward, who can get into those playoffs and actually, be a real force in MLS?
Yeah, 100%. I think the club has had a strong history of making deep runs in the playoffs. I think there's only been 1 year where the club has missed the playoffs, and I think it was in 2023. And, outside of that, over the last 5 years, the club has done exceptionally well in the playoffs, I think, as it relates to the rest of the league. We obviously won the MLS Cup in 2021, the season before I joined, made a semifinal run in 2022, and then again last year. So in terms of playoff performances, I think the club has always been quote unquote a playoff riser. And if we can just, get over the line into the playoffs, I think we always give ourselves a good chance. And like you said about New York kind of being a landing spot for players and a marquee club across the league. I think, we just did a stadium tour, us players yesterday of the stadium that's going to be done for the start of the 2027 season. And it's just in such a cool location. The stadium looks unbelievable. And I think it's going to be another tool that's going to be used to attract players here again.
And look, the vibes are high. You've got the first title coming to MSG in 53 years. You've got the World Cup in town as well. Now's the moment. New York City FC, grab hold of it. Grab hold of these soccer fans that this World Cup is going to be growing over the coming weeks and months and push forward. That's what we want to see. We want to see soccer become that third biggest sport in America behind the kind of big one, big two, big three.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge Knicks fan myself. And so the energy in the city has just been incredible. And you couple that with all the international fans coming in to support their teams. And I can't remember a better city or a better summer in New York City in a long, long time. So the energy has been fantastic. And yeah, I think it's going to be an opportunity for our club, but also the league to capitalize on the energy.
Well, look, Kevin, I'm sorry we ended up having to cut this so short because we were running all sorts of technical problems, etc. But I'm so glad we got a chance to still catch up with you. We wish you the very best of luck from your recovery for New York City coming up. And, man, enjoy the rest of this World Cup because it's a real joy to see your country embracing soccer properly.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Kevin O'Toole joining us on the S Word. Sensational stuff from him. And thank you so much for joining us on the show today. To Flex, to Rory, to all the guys. Master's back tomorrow. So for those of you in the comments, I've seen you who want Master on here to be lambasting me. Don't worry. It's coming. I will take my lumps tomorrow on the show, live from 8 a.m. Eastern and all over every podcast. Go and check us out. Give us a rating and review. It really helps people find the show. We appreciate you. This is the S Word, sponsored by Kalshi.
Big name reaction from both sides of the pond. The S Word from talkSPORT.